If you want to give God an exceptional service as a media volunteer at your church, then you need to work on yourself. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips that can help you improve yourself as a media volunteer in your church or ministry. Shalom to you, my friends. My name is Isaac from Trego Studios, and on this channel we train media volunteers on how they can become efficient and effective as they offer their service to God through the media. So if this sounds like you, I want you to consider subscribing to this channel and clicking the notification bell so that you can be notified each time we post a new video. My last video was targeted towards media coordinators or team leads of the media group in church or ministry, and I was talking about how they can maximize media volunteers to serve God better and become effective in their service to God. But today's video is targeted towards you as a media volunteer in your church or ministry on how you can improve yourself, to serve God better through this platform. And this video is especially to those who are not professionally trained to serve in the media. So you didn't go to school to study anything related to media, you have not done any professional course on media, but you want to serve God in the media. So this video is directed towards you, because I believe that whatever we have chosen to serve God, we shouldn't just do things as it comes to us. We should do things as it ought to be, in a way that is pleasing and acceptable unto God. All right, so that means you have to improve on yourself, you have to work on yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first tip I'm going to be giving to you is to discover your area of interest. Now this is essentially important if you do not have passion for the media. All right, so if you have passion for the media, automatically the interest will be there. You feel like doing so many things, you feel like doing almost everything in the media, right? But if you're not passionate about the media, that is, it's not as if it's a zeal that consumes you. It's not as if you really love to work in the media. You just find yourself serving in the media and you find it comfortable doing that. Now the first tip is discover your area of interest in the media. The labor in the media covers a wide scope, all right? There is the audio section, there's the video section, there's the live stream, there's design, post-production, pre-production, even the production itself, all of those things. So in order for you to improve on yourself, you need to discover first your area of interest, because when there is no interest, it becomes difficult for you to learn, and it becomes difficult for you to improve on yourself. If there is no interest, once you meet any roadblock in the process of your learning, you'd feel like quitting. Also, if you're not a passionate person about media and you're trying to do everything, join the audio, join the video, join different aspects of the media, you can get stuck easily. You can get weighed down or discouraged when you don't see yourself making a considerable progress. But if there's a particular part of the media that you find yourself very much interested in, then I think that you should discover that particular area, and that should be your building block for improving yourself, right? So trying to improve yourself on what does not interest you is going to be a wasted effort. You're going to waste your own time, waste your effort, and that of your team members, even your team lead, all right? So it's best for you to discover which particular area you are interested in, and then start developing on that particular area. The second tip I'm going to give to you that is going to help you improve yourself is to learn from those who are ahead of you. Learn from experts, learn from your bosses, learn from those who are in the media ahead of you, learn from those who are your supervisors, who are your coordinators. Learn from experts online, learn from people who already know the business, all right? So if you decided to work in the audio aspect, then learn from sound engineers. When you see someone who is better than you, and you see them operating it more than you can do, you should try and ask questions from them, get closer to them, even within your own group itself. The media group of your church. You can learn from others, those who are ahead of you. And when you see yourself going to another church or going to a different conference and you see their media team, you see them doing some certain things that you're not aware of, get close to them, ask questions, get their contact, and learn from them. Another way you can learn from others is by watching YouTube videos like this. When you learn from those who understand how these things work online, search for it. If there's anything you do not understand, search for it on YouTube. YouTube is filled with so much information that is sufficient to make you do the job properly. Have a desire to learn and maximize every opportunity you have to learn. Don't just be browsing the internet to watch comedy and things that do not relate to your service. If you are interested in improving yourself and serving God better, then you should show your interest by having a desire to learn. Don't just be satisfied with the fact that you know how to put on the mixer and to make the microphone work. There is always room for improvement, so learn from others. You should know the in and out of everything you are dealing with. If you are in the audio department, know how microphone works, know the inputs and the outputs, know the signal flow of everything concerned about your sound system, know what each button does, what each knobs controls, and why the sound is the way it is and how it can become better. Just try and learn from others. If there is any part of your work where you're just doing a guesswork, try and learn exactly how that thing works so that you take away the guesswork from your work, so that you'll be able to replicate success, so that your successful production will not just be a once in a while thing. It will be constant, it will be always, and that calls for learning. So learn, be open to learn. Don't try and prove as if you know something. If you see an external person trying to control you and you know that that person knows it more than you, permit it. Ask questions. When you go out, ask questions, all right? So that's the second tip. Be willing to learn from others. The third tip I'm going to give to you is to learn the theory behind the things you do, all right? So the first point is about knowing what you want to do. That is your area of interest. The second point is about knowing how to do it, all right? That is, you learn from those who are ahead of you, who know how to do it, so that you can know how to do it as well. Now, this third point, learning the theory, is about knowing why you do the things you do, all right? Sometimes, when you want to increase the bass of a particular signal, increase the lows. When you want to increase the high frequency, increase the high. But you should know, why should we increase the bass? Why should we increase the high frequencies? Why should we take off the low frequency from a particular signal? Why should we bring in the mids? Why should we take away the mids? What's the theory behind the mid frequencies? All right, why should we boost? Why should we cut away? The theories behind those things. If you are dealing with cameras, what is exposure? Know the theory behind exposure. Don't just think, if I increase my ISO, then it's going to get bright. Know the theories behind ISO. What are the pros and the cons of increasing your ISO? Why should your ISO be low? Why should it be high? Don't just do things because it looks good or it sounds good. Know the theory behind those things. If you really want to improve yourself, then you need to learn theories behind things. I know you might not want to do this if this is not your professional field. If you are just seeing, the media as a place to just serve God, do the little you can do and get out, But I believe in serving God exceptionally, all right? So if you really want to serve God exceptionally, then understanding the theory behind what you do is very important, all right? Before Daniel could serve in Babylon, he had to learn the art and the science of the culture and religion, of the Babylonians, So my point is, you as a media volunteer who wants to serve God exceptionally through the media, you should also learn the theory behind the things you do. Understanding the theory is going to really help you a lot. It's going to take away the guesswork out of your labor, all right? Sometimes you just do things, arbitrarily because it sounds good to you, but you do not know exactly the effects of what you did, right? So that when you change your location or you find yourself in a different place, you know how to apply that particular knowledge to that particular situation, all right? So don't be satisfied with the fact that you have what works for you, understand why it is working, so that when things go wrong, you'll know exactly where to tackle, or when there's a different scenario or different situation entirely, you know how to tackle it exactly. The fourth point I'm going to be sharing with you, which is also the last, is to experiment with the knowledge that you have. So the first point is understand what you have to do, that is, discover your area of interest in the media. The second point is understand how you have to do it, that is, learn from others, learn from your bosses, learn from experts, either online or offline, learn from them. And the third point is understand why you are to do it. All right, that's learning the theory. And the fourth point, which I'm telling you right now, is experiment with the knowledge that you have. All right, so now that you have an area of interest, you know what to do, you know why you must do the things you do. Now experiment with your knowledge. All right, don't just settle with the norm. All right, think of how you can improve your production. All right, so the fact that your microphone is working, the speakers are working, does not mean that is all that can be done about it. When you read the theories in step 3, you understand that so many things that you have been comfortable with in your sound system or your video production are actually not the best practices. Don't just learn theory just for learning's sake. All right, experiment with the knowledge that you have. Try different things. If you discover that the way you set your EQ is not the exact way it should be, or is not giving the right outputs that you're supposed to get, experiment with it to get a better result. All right, experiment with your mixer, experiment with your sound system. Think of how to improve your sound system, how to improve your video production. Think of how you can apply the knowledge, the theories that you've learned to the situation that you are. All right, so when we first start learning the things, that is from step 1, from step 2 rather, when we start learning how to do these things, most times we follow rules. All right, they tell you always set the gain to this place, always set the fader to this place, always do this way, always make sure your ISO does not exceed this. That's for video production, different things. And you take those things as hard and fast rules, but they are not hard and fast rules. Any of those rules can be broken, but that's why step 3 is important. You need to understand why those rules are there in the first place, and then understanding it makes you confident enough to break them when they are not necessary. You have to break some of those rules that you have taken so seriously, because by the time you understand the theory behind them, you know that it doesn't work for your particular situation, or there is a better thing you could do to enhance your own production. All right, so that's the fourth point. Experiment. Can your sound system be better? Can your setup be better? Are you maximizing your equipment? Is this the best you can get out of your mixer? Is this the best you can get out of your camera? Experiment with it. What if you set your camera this way? What's going to be the output? Experiment with it. Your ISO, different things, whatever it is, experiment with it. All right, so as you do these things, you'll find yourself improving. All right, so in summary, let me come again with those points. Number 1 is to understand what you have to do, that is find your area of interest. Number 2 is understand how you have to do it, that is learn from others how to carry those operations. Number 3 is understand why you must do it. All right, so that is learning the theory. And number 4 is experiment with the knowledge of the theory that you have. All right, so thank you for staying to the end of this video. If you have learned one thing or the other, I would like you to like this video, all right, and share it with your friends who might need the information in this video. If you have not subscribed, remember to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you'll be notified next time I post a new video. You can check our other videos. We have a playlist for audio production, video production, and the likes. You can check the playlist and watch anyone that could be helpful for you. So thank you for staying to the end of this video. Till I come your way next time with a new video, I want you to remain faithful in the Lord's service. God bless you. Bye.